Yo.
Yeah, I think that's picking everything up still.
Yeah, it's recording now.
Nah, it's not recording on the camera.
I'm just saying. No, it is.
Oh, right.
So yeah, I had a tweet a couple weeks back actually that I just had turned into a big discussion on Twitter, and the tweet was UK rappers make music for the moment. Only a handful make timeless music. I actually thought this would be a sick conversation for today, so the floor is open for that tweet. And why do you think this kind of stigma sticks with UK rappers?
So I would say start with what artists in the UK do you feel like actually makes timeless music then? Who pops into your mind as timeless music makers in the UK?
That's a difficult one.
Well, do you know what? Obviously, I'll definitely say it's a mix between a lot of genres. So just throwing in examples like Craig David. Craig David's made a lot of timeless music, I'll definitely say.
Okay.
Who else has made timeless music?
That's a shout. I would
You could talk about
David.
Yeah, you know, Craig David. People don't put respect on what Craig David did, bruv. Craig David, he had people internationally, you know, and the fact that he moved out to Miami because of his thing, yeah, you know that his thing was different back then, certified.
Yeah.
So
That was early 2000s.
Because born in America, right?
Yeah, Canada, it does well everywhere, to be honest.
Yeah.
So he's definitely made timeless music. But to the fact that even Nux is still remixing him now, it just says a lot in it. So,
the
word
it depends on, like, if the music needs time to mature. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, for something to be timeless, it needs that time. So, like,
when was Born to Do It though? When did that come out? When did that come out?
That was like 2001.
Something that came out hasn't had time to mature. We can't say it's timeless until however long left, and we say it's timeless. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, so saying that, do you think what UK rappers or UK artists right now think make elite music? Like, what ones do you think make like top tier music that you
could change it? You could change it like who can make an actual project, like a strong, cohesive project. Because I think that's the thing. We have a lot of rappers that make great singles or great mixtapes, I guess. I don't know. That's another way you could think about it.
I think the difficult part is obviously everyone has their own story to tell, and it's if a lot of people resonate to it, that makes it timeless. So like, I don't know, like Dave's album, Psychodrama, a lot of people could resonate to that. But like, if he drops an album where it's just hits, is that timeless? How do you base the timelessness off that? It's like it might not be songs that resonate with people, but it'll be like, you know what, at the time that dropped, that was amazing, and it's just timeless because of that.
Yeah, I think Psychodrama was like a rarity though in terms of UK projects, because it was actually, there was a story within it and that kind of vibe. I think we hadn't seen much of that in the UK, if you understand.
Yeah. No, for real.
A lot of UK music is made to be catchy though. That's the thing. Like, I don't think a lot of people in the UK make music with the impression that, I want this to be still something you can listen to in 5 years, 10 years. I think it's let's get it popping right now. And then even like to kind of caveat that as well, like we had this, Dwain, how many times we had this conversation about artists? Right. They don't do artist development no more. They just push them to the front, put them out there, because they're not trying to capitalize on longevity. They want to capitalize on right now. So the industry is not kind of conducive to making timeless music anyway. Do you know what I mean?
And then, I agree with that, because on top of that, I think that's why there was a stage, or you probably say even now, probably more of the mainstream or music that's charting, most of it sounds the same, but most of it sounds the same because I feel a lot of artists or people that are doing music are not really genuinely doing it because they love music. They're just doing it to get on and popping and whatnot. So a lot of people will see a trend and be like, okay, this is popping right now. Let me record a song. I can get thousands and thousands of views on GRM. I can, do a couple uni performances, and then say if the song goes so big, maybe they haven't thought, how am I going to now adapt to, how am I going to make something timeless, or how can I go to make an album or whatnot? Like, I feel a lot of that falls into it.
I think there are genuine people who love music. I think the issue comes with people's brethrens make music and people who are in the group or in the circle that make music, innit? Like,
everyone's got to eat that, man. Everyone's got to eat.
I know, but that's what I mean. And some of them are not rappers, innit?
Yeah, man.
Which is clear. But no, I think, I think it's in a good place in terms of, I think bruv, we're a long way from the 2010s when we had Tinchy Strider. No offense to them, man, innit? But Tinchy Strider doing the pop music, Skepta doing the pop music and doing foolishness, and Wiley doing the little summertime tunes. I feel like we're in a space where people can make the music they actually want to make.
True. I think also like when it's like different genres, I think that's where it's going to be like to certain people, certain pop songs might be timeless. To us, I'd say majority of us is probably going to be hip hop and rap, like a storytelling thing, where you'll be like, you know what, raw, this hits home. I get it, or I can resonate to the point where I get the people who have had experiences like this, and that makes it timeless itself. But it's a give and take on what your preference is, because for me, there's certain artists which don't make timeless music, and it's good in the moment. As Dwain thinks, I like jumpy music, but
nah, you do, bro. That's why your knees are finished, bro.
Right. Yeah, I'm drawing on my knees this earlier though. This is peak.
10 minutes into the pod,
but that kind of stuff, if you hear that back in like 10 years time, I'll be like, you know what, that's a big song. Like I remember I was talking about Bugatti.
It doesn't.
That was a hit back in the day.
Yeah, that sounds a bit dated though. I can't lie.
It does, but it's like, you know what? In the moment, it's one of those things that that is a timeless hit.
No, but it doesn't. I'm not saying it needs to be a psychodrama. Like I know we're gonna come on to Ambushes, but Ambush is far from that, innit? But there's a quality to it. Do you know what I mean? Like there's actually quality to it. It isn't just throwaway music. But we'll talk about that because we're gonna do.
I feel like you can't really say, because like, okay, somebody can set out to make the most timeless piece of music in their mind, and actually after like a year, no one cares no more. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's one of these things where what Wegz was saying as well, a lot of it depends on how it resonates with you. Like, is this something that you like specifically? Because I know there's tunes that I like that resonate with me, that to me, I will say this tune withstood this test of time that other people, do you know what I mean, might not think about as well. So I think there's so much like subjectivity to it. You can't really say. And then again, just the whole idea of, something needs time to be timeless. I think what you're saying about this is probably one of the first few times where in the UK we could have like a platform to make music. Is still new, like it's still, do you know what I mean? It's still bubbling. So obviously people are likely to get excited and do too much. I think eventually the cream does rise to the top.
Yeah, but people, like I said, people have the freedom to put out projects now. They don't have to rely on labels as much. So you have people like DEE and Footsie, who have operated for years and been in sets and been in grime sets. They only released their first album in the last couple years. I know Footsie dropped this year. I think D-Double dropped either last year or year before. Those are their first albums. They've been operating for decades. Like,
wow.
So I'm saying this is a space where people can actually make the music they want to make and put together a project of what they want to make, which will lead to the better music, in my opinion. Because when you're making something you want to make...
It's what, Rangi, you were going to say, go on.
No, because we're forgetting that at the end of the day, the scene is relatively new. It's relatively new in terms of you're seeing artists be able to actually make big money from it without having to join labels, even if they are joining labels, they're not getting the same kind of deals before. They're not doing this whole pop stuff like Daniel said before. So if that's the case, it's relatively new. So I think you got to give people a chance to actually find their sound, find what they really want to make, and give their time to actually make expressive music and not in timeless music. Because at the end of the day, people don't. I think they're just experimenting with it. And that's what it is. But obviously, people want to do what they're doing and it will represent the times of now. But eventually, people will get exposed and realize the talent. Obviously, the cream always rises to the top, innit? So eventually, the good ones will stay and eventually go on, innit? So we just have to wait and see. Man.
I definitely agree with that. I do feel like the artists that have potential to do that, I always say, not that they don't I do say they don't get enough love, but maybe what you man are saying is right. I think maybe because like in terms of like a Koji or a Little Sims, maybe there's not really a crowd for that UK hip hop, because I always feel like
the thing is they have their crowd though. It's just not a commercial crowd, because Sims gets to like concert dates and sells out O2, Islington and places like that. I know it's not the big massive venues, but they have their place. It's just unfortunately it's not the in sound. It's not the sound.
But the in sound, because it's different. Like in America, or even in Europe, I'd say Europe just take music for what it is. I still think in London there's a cosign mentality where people don't jump on things until someone jumps on it. Like maybe America is so big that you can kind of find your you can kind of pivot. You can find your fan base. But I do think when it comes to artists, like especially the alternative hip hop scene, I think because they're so, I wouldn't say they're different. Maybe because a crowd is not mature enough to kind of gather their sound. I do think in London, I know the sound is very, very samey. I don't think they get the love and respect like they deserve when it comes to the art they're putting out. That's my opinion, isn't it?
I think America has the same cosign thing. It's just that it's bigger. America's massive. Like there's so many different genres. Like, so if you're making down south, if Migos say you're popping, then you're popping. You don't need, I don't know, a Davies or a New York artist to say you're popping. Like people have different cosigns for different people. Yeah. Whereas here you just have London.
That's it.
Now, but I still feel like Sims, let's use Little Sims as an example. She's had tunes with Gets, Chip, Kano, Stormzy. Like she's been on songs with all these people. So, and I'm just like, I don't know what more she could have done or what more of a cosign she could have got. I just think it's not that in, but she has her crowd. Do you know what I'm saying?
Like, I think that goes back to the point. That goes to the point to what I was saying about it resonating with her group of people. Like every artist has their own fan base and whatnot. It's like what music resonates with what people. That's what makes it timeless. I mean, for me, Little Sims music doesn't resonate with me, and that's me. But like, I don't know, to listen to J Hus or Dave or something like that. That stuff I can be like, okay, you know what? I get that. I've seen that from experiences and whatnot. I can see what you got like coming across as. But yeah, like what you're saying, I think in America they definitely have the same cosign, and that it is bigger. And that makes it more attractive because you can get someone like from Atlanta making a song with someone in LA very easily like that and co-signing them, and they can be popping in the next year or so.
Yeah, I just think that people have their groups. Like Slow Tie has his fan base. Sims has a fan base. Like there's people like A2, Nux who are coming up, but again, it's not
underappreciated, bruv.
They're underappreciated. They're amazing because they've tailored their own sound. They produce, they rap, everything. Like they're amazing artists. But I don't know. It's for the youth. The youth are always the trendsetters. The youth enjoy drill and Afro wave more than anything. So
that goes back to what you said about how America's. Like, I think America is so big. Is like you can find eventually you'll find a pocket or you find people that fuck with you. Like as you said in the UK, like it's the youth that kind of dictate what the sound is, and if you're not in with kind of that kind of circle. But then, as you said, it's not even that bad of a thing because if you can still sell out a young Coco Camden or a Roundhouse, you're doing all right. So I hear what you're saying. We probably just need to give it time. But out of the UK artists that you've listened to, who do you think has the potential to go on and like reach like legendary status, like of the UK artists? And that's all genres across the UK. Like who do you think? Like I need hot takes. Yeah.
Well, we can say there's people who are already legends, so we can say like the Kanos, the Gigs.
You're being fake.
No. I'm saying before we come on to who's coming up, we've got the people who are already legends. Like it's not like there's not already legends in it. Like that's all I'm saying in it. But potential, I don't know. Someone else want to go first? I got my people in there.
Hey, Ranky, you've been quite I'll put it on you.
It's the first, the three, like J Hus, Stormzy, Dave. I definitely believe that they can potentially have a longevity and a prosperous career in this thing. They've showed already through what they put out that it's already going to look like they could potentially just keep on putting out bodies of work, which is going to resonate with a lot of people. I'm still waiting for I'm still waiting for the proper intricate album from J Hus, but I feel like with time you eventually will get that. But yeah, I think them three are definitely standing alone right now in terms of what they're doing. So shouts to all three of those gentlemen, man.
No, I definitely would agree with them three. I think Stormzy is obviously come out of the bag because he's released 2 albums. In retrospect to them, Dave and J Hus dropping 1 album, but I feel like
J Hus has 2 albums, bro.
Yeah, J Hus got 2 albums.
First one,
Common Sense.
Common Sense.
Oh yeah, bro, that's my bad.
How can you forget that album's amazing as well?
No, that is
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I feel like that was very early in the sense that a lot of people probably hadn't heard about him. On a larger level than Stormzy.
I wouldn't say. All right, Stormzy's different because he's way out there. But
but yeah,
that album solidified.
I remember Hus had
Most recent.
What I done? What's it called again? Flip it.
A Big Conspiracy.
No, this first single, bruv, of
Did you see?
Did you see
no
what
lie,
I
no lie.
done? No,
Yeah,
not
did you
that.
see?
After
Did you
that.
see? Did you see?
Oh,
Did you see?
Same.
Yeah.
Man said the words.
What I'm saying is before the album dropped, he released that. He was huge. I feel like that album.
Yeah, he had bare singles before that.
Yeah, he wasn't on the
Before
come
that.
up when that album dropped. I feel like he was already like at a good place. Like people were waiting
No,
for the album.
I'd say he was definitely getting radio spins and whatnot. And like, I'm not putting this against man, but I feel like Stormzy took it to another level with him.
Yeah. Come on,
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
If you put they're both like their first albums, I feel like Stormzy went even higher to a different demographic. That's what I was trying to say.
We're gonna have a discussion about how Common Sense aged against Stormzy's first album. You know,
Yeah, but I feel like J Hus's trajectory was always going to be different from Stormzy's.
Oh
anyway. Yeah, it's just like
They're
Stormzy's went definitely. Yeah, it was definitely a different trajectory. But for me, I'd rather have the less pressure of a J Hus, even though he's a bit he's getting more mainstream. But Stormzy went straight from here to into the bigger mainstream market, whereas J Hus is doing it in the way he wants to, still putting out the music that he really wants to, which is good. But eventually, yeah, I mean, you don't give him obviously time to grow, I guess.
Nah, Hus needs his flowers because he really carved out a lane. I have to say, like he carved out a whole lane.
Bare sons out here, man. Bare sons.
For real, and he's unique. That does not up until now, or up until recently, there was no one that sounded like him really.
All of them.
You know what I'm saying?
Send it for PA Salute, yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm not even trying to say for him, but that sound, that sound, it was just
though.
us.
He's cool.
Yeah, he's sick. He's sick with it. Yeah, but yeah, it was just us. That was
Daniel trying to start trouble, bro.
Interesting, isn't it?
Man's trying to start beef already. You know, second.
That's a second episode, bro.
Them three definitely.
Did you say?
I said no. I agree with you. Them three, like definitely, because them three that's the big three. They're different. I do think in terms of singers as well. I don't know if you listen to our album. I think Mahalia is special, man. I think Mahalia will do something like
that was a great album.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. Her last album was
sick. Like I think she's special, man. And someone who's just
on late.
Yeah, no, it was a good album. Someone who's just being consistent as well, which I like. I don't know if they're going to reach legendary status because of their sound, but I like IMDb as well because I think she's kind of carving out her own kind of sound and her own style, just the image and her fan base as well. Like so there's a lot. It's obviously nuts, but there's a lot of UK. There's a potential, as you said. It's a new thing in it. Like there's a lot of people that can grow, and it's going to be interesting to see like 2030 where we're going to be like. In aspects of that, just to see their growth.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah.
But at 2030 as well, the scene would have been very, very mature as well in terms of there's more experience in the game now. I think we're very far ahead. Well, America's very far ahead in terms of they've had this scene for years.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not like we're trying to catch them, but at the same time, at least we've got enough evidence to look over and say, "Yo."
We're inspiring them, bro. I'm telling you.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. We're inspiring because I definitely believe that them lot have been. Obviously, they've been doing this for so long, and they see. I feel that a lot of them are looking for what's next. What can we really do? So the fact that obviously we've got social media, everything's around that we can now look internationally. Obviously, we're inspiring them in terms of even like from the UK drill scene. Yeah, like we're inspiring them in different sounds and playing with new sounds, which is good, and it shows a lot. And it's always going to put more stock back into our scene, which is good.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I always feel like I feel like the ones that are gonna be remembered in time are the ones that are carving out their own sound. Obviously, those three are like superstars.
Yeah,
I feel like they carved their own name. Stormzy kind of brought grime element or that vibe back, and then went in his own direction. Huss brought in Afro swing. Dave brought back lyricism like properly and using the punchline rap, but to a more complex degree. But then I think I'm going with Dwain's kind of vibe where it's people who are making their own thing. So the IMDb's, the A2 I think has his complete own
wizard.
Mad. And he doesn't get appreciated for it. Obviously the Knox like produces his own tunes. I'm just waiting for him to drop a proper project. I think I'm gonna come out with a mad one. Millions, bro. There's something about Millions, bro. Because
in the drill scene, 100%.
Yeah, because the way he approaches drill tracks is so mad. Like I've never heard someone with that kind of flow and the way he's I don't know. There's something about him. I'm telling you, he's a star in the making. I'm sure.
Yeah.
But, I'm not gonna lie, it's poetry the way he says some stuff, bro. Because it's like the way he articulates stories and experiences that he's gone through. It's like you're actually along the journey with him in the song. If you get what I'm saying.
He paints the picture so well.
Yeah, he paints it so well. It's hard to be able to do that at a tempo of drill, UK drill. So you gotta appreciate the art when it comes to that, man.
Yeah, bro. The way he flows on shit is just crazy, bro.
Yeah, for real.
Like it's just so off.
Chris, what do you think on this?
Like I have nothing different to add to like what you guys are saying. Like, who do I think is gonna make the most timeless music? Probably the people who are at the forefront now. I mean, if you're looking at UK music in terms of like the different genres within it, you've got kind of like that grime, that new age grime sound, which obviously you could say Stormzy's the guy of that. The Afro thing sound, you could say J Hus is the guy of that. Like what Dan said about more lyrically deep songs, you can say. So yeah, like you said, if you're carving out your own lane, you're more likely to be timeless. I do feel like there is a caveat to that in the sense of, does it catch on? Like at the end of the day, we can't really say what's going to be timeless until the time comes. But if you want to make those predictions, those are probably like, I have nothing new to add that what people have already said. You get me? So
no, I hear that.
So
I think if I said rounding up on this topic, as we said, I think a lot of good points were made. Especially, I like the point of view lot saying about how the youth kind of dictate sound, and everyone has their own kind of pockets of sound as well. Even the fact that you said like the UK scene is very, very new, and how we need to see it mature, and in 2030 as well, we're going to be able to answer these questions.
But I just think we've got to celebrate the fact that so many sounds come from the UK, bro. We invent so many sounds. Like I know Joe obviously originated in Chicago, but we took that, molded it and changed it completely. And New York just basically took the same instrumentals. Obviously they have their own flavor on it, but we created drill, created Afro wave, taking influence. Obviously we created grime from time ago, like dubstep, all this, even though I'm not into that, but I'm just saying all these genres just come basically from the UK and have spread pretty much worldwide. Like
UK's moving it along very, very well.
I've got a take about the youngers though. So basically, I the youngers right now, I look at it in terms of like a kid getting into, like Hamley's doors opening. So they're so excited, they run in, they go to one section, section's cool. Once they're done with that, they go to another section. They're like, all right, that's cool. Done with that, let's go to another section. And that's how they kind of interpret it and take in music. They start with UK drill, that's the thing right now. They appreciate that's all they're listening to. And
fair enough.
Eventually, that they go discovering people like Ep2, discovering people like Nux. They're like, oh, this is what these man been doing over there for time. When I've been listening to UK drill all this time, this is what them man been doing. Let me take it back. They're taking in that now. Obviously, they're back in that. Then eventually they hop into another thing, and they're basically discovering the rest of the whole scene after being so focused on another portion of the scene. So it's like, it's a beautiful thing being able to discover music like that, and I feel like the youngers, pretty much there's a lot of them, not all of them, but there's a lot of them that ride the wave. And
we did the same shit though. I'm telling you, because remember, obviously grime was the thing when we were younger, innit? Then gigs came out, and then it was rap. Like everyone miffed grime when gigs came out, bro. As far as I remember, again, different areas of London.
Yeah, I remember.
But let me ask you this, Dan. Yeah, let me ask you. That's right. Let me ask you this: when grime was heavily popping, was gigs also doing that round the same time?
Yeah, but when he was, but as in on an underground level, when he come out with like Talking the Hardest and them things there was a shift in it. And I think everyone...
That was when the trajectory changed. So is there earlier music from that? Obviously, because I'm not going to really know that.
No, definitely. Like Hollow Man meets Blade and all that stuff was way before that. But not way before, a couple of years before that. I mean, unless I got my time mixed up.
Yeah, but even around them times, I feel like still people were hearing and knowing about gigs. Not on a mainstream level in terms of a lot of the people, but there's still, I used to hear still his name around that time.
Yeah, he was
around that time still.
Yes, guys, we've been part-timers. I'm going to do the typical part of like podcast ending. So like, comment, subscribe. Please let us know what you want to see, what you want us to do. We're going to try and do this weekly. Check our socials, follow us, look at our website, www.theparttimers.co.uk. And check out next week, please. Thank you. Bye.